I'm here in Denver, mid-August 2024 for the ConnectWise Big IT Nation Evolve and Grow event. I'll be doing interviews this whole week with managed service providers that are here and with vendors and with ConnectWise staff and ConnectWise leadership. Hope to gain some insight on the happenings that are going on. Also great insight from the managed service providers. But the following interview will be from this event here in Denver. Thanks so much for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre-diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business that lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission, how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family and their passion and their careers and how it helped them. Our podcast vision, growth through learning from others. Joey Pinz Disciple Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. Matthew Lavender, thank you so much for your time.
Of course. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. What's the difference between Peloton and biking?
One is stationary. You mean like even stationary biking?
Yeah.
I would say the program side of things, tracking your long-term goals and hitting milestones, and you kind of grow attached to some of your favorite instructors and doing that over and over again. So it does. I see what you're saying. I said I like to Peloton instead of I like to ride the stationary bike. So,
right. Yeah, that's specific. I had one for a while, but like many of us after COVID, I didn't want to be in the house working out anymore.
Yeah. So I started in 2017. I had a hip surgery. Long story short, I've had a couple.
Did you really?
I have a replaced hip, and
oh my God.
I used to run a lot and needed another outlet, and so I started the Peloton
running
thing. And,
wait, put this on too?
I haven't looked back. So.
Yeah, running will. Have you always been this weight?
Since being an adult, pretty much,
yeah. Yeah, running pounds on the joints. You can only do it for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Watching those Olympic runners, I think, oh boy, they're young.
It's incredible.
Yeah, that we can see that.
I'm only 35. I never thought I'd have a replaced hip at 35 years old. So.
What was it like replacing your hip?
It was terrible. But you start with, when you get a hip replacement, you can put weight on it the first day.
Really?
It's totally different. My first hip surgery I was in a hip brace for 6 weeks, not really weight bearing. And so it was amazing that you can, in theory, walk that same day. But the recovery after that is still pretty much the same, getting back to kind of normal function, normal movement. I don't think you ever become quite the same.
Is that right?
Yeah. So,
painful?
Yes. Yeah. Now there's no pain in the joint,
Good.
which that was the overall goal with the hip replacement.
And so you moved to biking.
Moved away from running.
Yeah.
I still run occasionally now, but primarily I do the Peloton.
Yeah.
And I do have a Peloton treadmill as well. I'm all in, but that's more for my fiance.
I see. They were talking about having a rower at one point. Did they ever release it?
They did release the rower. And I don't have that, but
yeah.
But yeah, they do have
Oh, that's interesting. I forgot that they were. Boy, I might go back to that. That's very interesting. And did you ever pick up swimming?
I I swam growing up quite a bit. I swam through high school. Didn't do college swimming, but swam through high school, and I haven't gone back to it as an adult. But yeah, I love swimming.
So you could have done triathlons. You've done,
Probably,
yeah.
yeah. Now with the replace tip, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm more limited on the running piece. So.
But it is important exercise. I'm glad you substituted with something. That's what happens to a lot of people. They get injured, and then they just don't go back to it.
Yeah, I do it every day, every morning.
Do you really?
Yep,
How long?
Between 30 minutes and an hour. So I do either a 30-minute ride or I'll do an hour ride.
Good for you.
So every morning,
Wow.
that's how I start the day.
And who's your favorite instructor? Remember, maybe I'll remember them.
Emma Lovewell.
Oh, Emma. Yes. I remember
she-
Emma. Yeah.
She's great. I saw her once in person. I went to New York. This was 4 or 5 years ago.
The studio's there.
The studio there.
Yeah.
And did a ride with her.
Ah.
Yeah, so she's been my favorite since.
So it's over there by B&H. I remember seeing the studio. Yeah, and they'll let you come and do it right there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's a lot smaller in there than I thought it would be.
Yes, I think they're in like a newer, bigger studio.
Oh, did they
now.
move?
I haven't been to that, but
I
yeah,
see.
they were just like a normal, Soul Cycle or Cycle.
Sure.
Bar or something like that.
A lot of great instructors. There's so much energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they all had their little things. It was interesting, like the different kind of music, but even like the routines that they did, where you could tell there were some of their own. It was a great mix-up. I liked it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I did some of the running with the instructors because Peloton also had an app.
They have the app.
Yeah, and that was really good when I used to run. Yeah, I kind of missed that. But they've gone because they were great during the pandemic, and then when it ended, it was the worst thing for them, right? Stock went down, and they're still going.
They're still going. And for people like me that have been doing it for years and years, I hope they never stop.
Right.
I do read about the business side.
Yeah.
I understand they're struggling on multiple facets. So hopefully it keeps going.
Yeah, it's important to get exercise. And speaking of which, we're here in Denver.
Yes.
It's Q3. We're in August. We're at the Evolve and Grow event here for ConnectWise and IT Nation. And what is your goal for this event, Matt?
So my goal coming in, so I'm a program manager for the IT Nation Evolve team. I am here primarily for our newest program that we have, which is IT Nation Grow. So we currently have offered a mergers and acquisitions peer group, which is still ongoing, but we're sundowning that at the end of this year.
Oh.
And we're combining that into what we now call IT Nation Grow. And it's a quarterly event. The quarters 1 through 3 are going to happen at the same time as owners on Wednesday, which is typically our community day. We're going to have this Grow event, and it covers all facets of business transition. So it covers financial, emotional, legal, security, things to keep in mind there. And so my goal being here this week is to run a successful event tomorrow. So I'll be up there doing the MC, and
Nice.
I'll also be moderating a panel on what happens after the close, after a deal, after a business transition. So we're really looking forward to that and seeing this grow going forward, because it's never too early to start thinking about your business transition. Some people think I'm 5, 10, 15 years out.
Yeah.
I don't need to be worried about that right now, but a big part of what we talk about is setting yourself up for when you do decide to exit, and that preparation starts years in advance. Or an exit can occur at a time that it may be coming on a sooner horizon than you're prepared for, and you need to be prepared for that date. At least, you might come to this event and not take down every single note and have 10 things to walk away and do immediately, but if it comes your time to start that transition period, you'll at least have some ideas of resources and where to look for different pieces of that whole puzzle, as it comes together. So, and create contacts, and that's an important part as well.
As Arlen Sorensen said, you're going to leave your business horizontally or vertically. So you're going to. And as I talk to MSPs, it's important to have the conversation, even if you're not thinking about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Arlen is he's the godfather of Evolve, and he's the one who spearheaded the start of Grow. So fortunately, he's not with us here this
Yeah, I
quarter.
heard.
But he will be in future quarters. We're talking on a regular cadence. We're already looking towards Q4, which we're going to do a whole business transition scenario. And so it's going to be a 2-day event by some 1-day event.
Whoa.
So it'll be great content, and that one will be in the Tampa HQ office. So
I see.
we're trying to get as much interest and folks out to any of these events, and the good thing about Grow is it can be treated as a standalone event. You can go one time and get a lot of great content out of it, or you can come every single time because the content's going to change slightly every single session.
I see.
So we're not going to have the same speakers, same focus every session. For instance, this one happening here, Q3 in Denver, is focused on private equity, what that looks like for what somebody that's looking to potentially be acquired by private equity, what they should kind of be prepared for. That's our focus going into here. And in Q4, like I mentioned, we are going to do a business transition scenario and walk through that from beginning to end. So. And in Q2, we did a pre-day for secure, and that one was security focused. So we still bring in the rest of what you need for financial and legal, those pieces there, but then we have a specific focus that we try to bring to each quarter. It's slightly different.
So it's not going to be part of Grow in quarter 4?
So we are going to have a track at Connect. So it's
I
going to
see.
be 3 tracks at Connect, but it's not going to be a traditional Grow.
I see.
Yes. So there will be 3 tracks at Connect that people could sign up for, and then they'll hear more spiel from Arlen about this and how it's a great program and how they should get involved. So,
By tracks, you mean a breakout session?
essentially, yeah.
one of the sessions.
Yes.
I see. So there won't be a day devoted to it.
No.
I see.
No.
And so it'll be in Tampa. Will that be before or after?
It's going to be after Grow. I mean, it's going to be after Connect in Tampa. So it'll be the week of December. That week of December 9th, I believe, off the top of my head, it's the 11th to 12th of December.
Very good, because the first quarter was in Tampa. It was only 1 day.
It was, yes.
And so what's the relationship between Grow and Evolve?
Well, so we all fall under the IT
Nation
team.
Right,
yes.
right.
So there's this is more of an IT Nation program, which falls under Secure, Connect, and User Groups. But we're bringing this to the Evolve locations because not only are Evolve members a perfect audience for this, but we're also trying to attract local people in the area,
Really?
MSPs in Denver. We did some outreach through email and LinkedIn posts, things like that, to try to garner local interest as well. So you don't have to be an Evolve member to come learn about business transition.
Right.
It's a standalone program that I think it's beneficial for, like I mentioned, for anybody, no matter where they are in their journey with their MSP.
So will MSPs attend that aren't in Evolve?
Yes.
Wow.
And we've had that both at Secure and the first one we did in Tampa. So and they come in and another great thing is they learn that Evolve's a thing there too, which is this miraculous program that does so much for its members. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be where my MSP joined HCG, which was Evolve back then, with Arlen, and we, to be in a room with, like-minded individuals that are having the same problems. This is an evolutionary, it was a pivotal, I should say, point in my companies. And then when I made the exit, I still enjoy working so much in the IT Nation community, working with MSPs, working for great people like yourself. What should they look forward to if they're coming to Grow?
Hearing from subject matter experts.
Right.
Absolutely. So, we have lawyers in there. We have investment bankers in there. We have private equity firms in there. We have folks that have had successful exits recently come in and speak. So you really get an all in one day of a lot of expertise that it would take you probably weeks to coordinate and push
Mm,
down in meetings that with different experts. And then also you have an opportunity to grow your network with them
right.
and with other MSPs as well. And so that coming in, that is the number one sales piece. Going in, not only interacting with SMEs and hearing what they have to say, but then also getting the education that they're providing. So we have incredible partners, and a lot of them are evolved partners. A lot of our subject matter experts that are coming in to grow because they themselves believe in the MSP
Mm,
industry and the go giver mentality that's preached so much at Evolve
sure
programs
is.
that they want to also ensure that, one, they want to make sure that they're getting business, but two, they want to ensure that people, when they exit, they do it as successfully as possible.
And we need to get over this hump, Matthew, of MSPs saying, "Well, I'm not ready. I don't really. It's too early to go." I mean, we have to really get over that barrier. Just listen, and just even if you're not considering it, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to, and it's important to plan.
Yeah, and that brings something else to mind that I haven't really considered yet is because, like you're saying, how do we shift that mindset so people come in and they learn earlier on, whether
Right.
that's offering snippets of the program to people just to see what we're offering. We do put the agenda out there, and when we're communicating with folks, we do have a website. So if you Google IT Nation Grow, you'll go to the website. It'll have additional information there, but it's getting people to make that leap. It's probably the same leap that it takes for people to join a peer group. So a
Mm,
lot of people are probably thinking, I don't need a peer group. I'm
right.
running my business, right? And then they get into the peer group setting, and then they figure out that a lot of people have solutions to the problems that they're having, and they have solutions for the problems that other people are having.
Mm,
And then over time, you see more successful businesses, which lead to more successful exits. So again, we're at the infancy stage of this new program, and we're looking to grow it as big as possible.
mm,
So it
hmm,
is it's a there's no direct answer as how we're going to push people to, hey, sign up for that first time.
right.
So
I wish it was around when I was around, because uh, my company wasn't for sale, but then we got approached, and every MSP. I mean, that's another problem I think, Matthew, is that every MSP is getting a knock on the door,
mhm.
right? And so they're getting intimidated. They're hearing about people, selling or not selling, and so they're just there's a lot of kind of confusion out there and intimidation. These big PE firms, and
Yes.
bad things might happen, and we really got to just go and listen and try to make a plan.
Yep. And that goes back to what we've been talking about is it's never too early to start planning
Right.
because you might have an offer that you can't refuse be put on the table. And if you
Hmm.
have no idea what goes into the tax law side of things or
Right.
what to look out in contracting, or even how to handle your employees, what are they going to think when you go into this transition? So there it's never too early to start because life is unpredictable and it'll throw things at you, and if you get an offer that you can't refuse, you might be transitioning quicker than you expect.
Yeah, exactly right. I thought they were kidding. And they weren't. And then we went back and forth. And yeah, it definitely, your message to MSPs is just listen and give it a
Just listen,
chance.
come give it a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, Matthew. So, we were talking about exercise earlier, and when I started my MSP in the '90s, I'm a little bit older than you, and I was working way too hard and not paying attention to my diet, not exercising, and before you know it, I got myself up to 340 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, size 46-inch waist, crazy.
Wow.
Doctor says to me, if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. My daughter was just born. So, I'm driving home, punching the steering wheel. And, look what I've done to myself. So I spent the next 6, 7 months, changed everything I did, and lost 130 pounds and kept it off. A lot of,
Wow.
you know,
Well,
with,
congratulations.
yeah,
That's
thanks. A lot of, diets, they kind of get to the finishing line and they end, they go back to what they're doing. Very much like here, if the goal, you got to keep going with it,
You do.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
important. So people want a quick answer. They say, how'd you do it? What's your secret? And Matthew, there's no secret.
No.
Discipline. That's how, I got a willpower, I had order, I had structure, and that's how I did it. I wonder how discipline plays a role in your life.
Well, that's a great question.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, I first thing I do every morning is I
Yeah,
work out,
routine.
and I prioritize that pretty much over anything else. I probably should sleep in a little later, but I choose to wake up a little bit earlier, work out in the morning, and then it sets me up for my day mentally. I know that I'm physically feeling all right, and it makes me think clearer throughout the day. So I would say I'm disciplined in that aspect. Uh, Trying to think what other facets of my life that.
Well, you've got routine, you've got these habits that you don't fall out of. It
Yeah,
seems very structured.
it is, and it's something that I've followed my whole adult life and haven't wavered from it. Don't plan on doing that anytime soon. So,
And you never had a heavy period in your life. You said in your adult life.
in my adult life, I have not. When I was a younger kid, I did go through a couple heavier periods. That I did have weight loss. Fourth grade and
Whoa.
ninth grade, I did do some weight loss there. But I would say since 10th grade on, I've
Wow.
kind of maintained this. And well, after my growth spurt, this kind of, I would say thinner, I guess.
Sure.
Me.
Equal
So,
out, yeah.
but I do work out diligently, and I try to, watch what I eat. I don't try to eat terribly, and so yeah, it's all helpful for long-term health. So that's my goal. So I was in the military for 11 years.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
kind of built a lot of routine in there as far as
Yes.
working out, and
What branch?
I was in the Navy for
Wow.
11 years, and got out. This is my working for ConnectWise, my first job as an adult outside of,
Wow.
which they took me on, and couldn't be more grateful for the Evolve team and everybody.
They're great.
Everybody involved. They're all great.
Yeah,
So,
they're all great. Yeah. I like the way that you got hurt and you substituted it with something that's still beneficial, like we mentioned before. I mean, that takes discipline. That's, yeah.
It does. And I don't know if I got it from my father. My dad, he ran and logged it for decades.
Did he really?
Ran every day and logged it. And I don't know if that's where I got the need to feel to work out every day, but it probably is.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I've been this way since a young child.
And then you have a pretty sizable life event coming up soon,
Yeah.
in which you congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm getting married this Saturday in Las Vegas, not in an Elvis chapel.
Oh.
So when I went to get my marriage license in Las Vegas, that place is like a well-oiled machine. It was like walking into a DMV.
Is that
there's
right?
Tons of windows. They have the
Wow.
snake lines. I did see a few Elvises there, probably turning in, people getting married. But we're getting married. My family lives out there now, so we're getting married at the community my mom lives in, a golf course there. So
very cool.
Looking forward to that. My fiance, she's still in the Navy, so that's why we live out in San Diego right now.
Right, big base there. Yeah,
and so it should be a good time. Looking forward to it. And after we finish grow, I'm flying out that night to head to Las Vegas to go get married this weekend. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Matthew, thank you so much for your time today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Disciple Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Disciple Conversations.